My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, February 12, 2024, and this is episode 127. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk. So that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, I'm ready to share my handwerk perikelen, my crafty adventures from this week with you. But let's start with what I'm wearing, because it's a little bit different than my normal style, I guess. It's an understatement. It has all to do with the festivities which are celebrated these days in the part of the Netherlands where I live. I told a little bit before about it last week, I guess. I'm not sure. But it's Carnival here right now. And it was not my plan to be dressed up like this in a YouTube episode. But yesterday I realized that I have quite some only crocheted items in my carnival outfit. So besides, I will celebrate this afternoon, and it was a little bit tight. The time planning was a little bit tight, so I thought, okay, let's dress up before filming, film like a ladybug, and then go celebrating carnival. So it's a bit weird, but it's good to go out of your comfort zone every now and then. Let me tell you a little bit about the celebration of carnival. It is mainly celebrated in a part of the Netherlands, in the south of the Netherlands, under the rivers, and that's because it's a Catholic celebration. Of course, I think the origin of this celebration goes maybe way more far than what I know, but that's with every celebration, I guess. But the Catholics live mainly in the south of the Netherlands. We have a very small country, but that they used to live more in the south. And Carnival is actually a celebration. It is the beginning of the fasting period. And I googled it, translated it, and the translation Google was giving me was Lent. I don't know if that's a specific term for it. It's quite funny because Lente is the Dutch word for spring. So it sounds as if it could be, but I'm not sure. But the fasting period, those are the 40 days until Easter. So it will start at Wednesday, and then 40 days until Easter. The Catholic people are fasting. And you can choose your own way. It's a period of fasting and reflection. And I'm not a Catholic. I'm also not raised Catholic. But I love the part of the reflection and also the sober living those 40 days. So every year I try to think of a subject I could fast on. The most original one we did was the dishwasher fasting period. It was not a planned thing, but our dishwasher broke a few days before the fasting period started, and we actually immediately wanted to buy a new one. And then we realized doing the dishes is not so bad, actually. When we are on holiday, when we are camping, doing the dishes by hand is always a cozy and good activity, a social activity. So we decided, let's do some dishwasher fasting. We will do the dishes by hand for 40 days, and then we will decide if we want to buy a new dishwasher or not. And that's 5 years ago, and we still don't have a dishwasher because why do you need a dishwasher? It's absolutely okay to do it by hand. It's actually quite cozy, and our children, they are not always easy peasy. So enthusiastic as we are, because of course they don't love to do the dishes, but actually when we are doing it, it's always nice and cozy because we are playing music and we do a chat, and We don't always do it together with 5 people, but it's not so bad. So that was a funny fasting subject, but I don't really know. I was thinking about this year, what do I want to fast on? And then you can fast on your sweets and sugars, or non-alcoholic, or not buying something. And I was thinking about that because my yarn stash is keeping me busy. The musing about my yarn stash, and also my resolutions for this year were not buying any new yarn or patterns, because it can be so overwhelming, and also it can be so annoying that you don't use what you have. Those beautiful yarns are waiting and waiting, but they never are knitted up because all the new stuff is coming in. So I thought maybe it's a good idea to not buy anything for 40 days. And anything, of course, crafting wise, no yarn, no patterns, but also another, I don't buy a lot of stuff, I guess, but I go to the thrift store every now and then, but also not fabric for a new dress, and I don't know, just nothing. Only the food you need and the really essentials you need to live, but just sober, not spending your money on things you actually don't need. So that was an interesting subject. And also spending time on social media was also one of the subjects. I think it may be interesting to fast on. I don't know if I say it correctly, but I was thinking about putting on a limit on the time I spend on social media, and I do not spend really a lot. I'm not a scroller. I'm a sharer. I don't spend a lot of time on scrolling, but just I pick up my phone quite often, and I put it away quite soon after that, so I don't spend a lot of time, but it is there all the time. So maybe I could do something with that, those 40 days. I don't know. It starts on Wednesday, so I have a few days, 2 actually, 1 after today, to decide. But it's fun to play with. But Carnival is all about the going wild before you are going sober. The city is filled with all the celebrating people, and they are all dressed up because that's what we do. And it's not all the same at all places. In the place where I live, you just dress up as you like, and you can dress up as your alter ego. I'm a ladybug. I don't know why, it just happened, but you can make fun creations or whatever you want. But I know there are also cities. There's a city not far from here. You wear a curtain. That's the only way you dress up, and they have in some cities they have special jackets or scarves or whatever. So it's all traditional and all that. But in the city I live, you can go as you want. And I love the dressing up. I never dress up. Halloween is not really, it's an upcoming event in the Netherlands. It's more from America, I guess. And I didn't grow up with Halloween, and it's not my celebration actually, but that's the only other celebration I know that you are dressed up. I really love to dress up. So that was fun. And I'm not a diehard Carnival celebrator. I think when I wouldn't sit here right now because I was busy with doing other things, and I was very tired, I guess. But when our kids were smaller, we went to a cafe for some children carnival, and then after that we dropped the kids at home and we celebrated our own until deep in the night, and it was also very heavy, and it took quite some days to recover, and I didn't feel for that anymore. I'm getting old. But there are also how do you say it? In Dutch we call it optochten. Parades, processions. There are groups, and they make big cars, and with papier mache we call it, with papier mache. I don't know how you call it. It doesn't matter. But it's very happy and very lots of music and very creative actually, and that's quite fun. So yesterday I went to one in a village near my town, and today it's in my town. So we will visit it, and it's okay. Yesterday I was at home at 6 in the evening, and I was totally fresh, and I could knit all evening, and that's the perfect way of celebrating Carnival for me right now. So in this part of my life. Yeah, but let me tell you a little bit about what I'm wearing, because that's why the reason why I am wearing it already. I have quite some crochet things. I have a crochet vest, and it's a ladybug vest. In Dutch we call a ladybug a lieve heersbeestje, and I really loved the vest. I crocheted it in parts, I guess, from the bottom up, and there is a seam here. And I crocheted little circles for the dots, and yeah, it's just lovely. If I remember correctly, the yarn is a mix of acrylic and wool, and I love this little pocket with the ladybug on it. So nice, so sweet. And I'm also wearing an apron, and that's actually not part of my costume, but when we are going to watch a parade, an optocht, it can be very cold. I have a nice jacket too, but that's downstairs. It can be very cold, and the weather is always different with Carnival, and this time of the year, this year it is not very cold, but a little bit rainy every now and then, but when you are standing outside for hours and hours, then it is cold anyway. So I thought I found this apron in our box with Carnival outfits, and I thought, oh, this is an extra warm layer here, so that's nice. And this is actually quite fun. An apron made of granny squares, and it's an idea of two Dutch ladies. They made a book a few years ago, and the pattern for the apron was in there, I guess. I don't own the book anymore, but I really love it. It are granny squares with a big center, and I know it is blue. I know it is blue. There is a lot of blue in this. And also, again, a little pocket, and it is a granny square, so it doesn't make sense actually. I could make a facing in it, but I don't use the pocket. It's only decorative, but with the tiny flowers and a little bow. It is really cute and really, really nice. And I forgot I made this, and I thought maybe I should make one in colors and lovely yarn I love now, because it would go perfect with my hinterland dresses. I really would love this. So maybe I will do that once. I also have, how do you call it, this fake hair? In Dutch we call it a pruik. I don't know the English word for that. And I don't know why I really love to wear the fake hair, because when you are all dressed up, you can hide behind your weird looking outfit. I don't know. It feels out of my comfort zone, but in a good way. So it's really nice. The hair is dramatic. It's all plastic, and my own hair under it is also dramatic right now. But I am also wearing a headband with my fake hair to keep it in place. And the headband is really lovely because it's also crochet. It is oh, my own necklace. Oh, moment. It's not working out with all the hair. I don't want to lose it, but the I don't know, how do you say it, where you connect the both parts of my necklace, it's a bit it's not steady anymore, so I'm afraid I have to search for a new one. I'm really attached to, I have a few necklaces, but they are all broke, so I don't know. I hope it will stay in place. But this is actually a pattern from a Dutch designer. I mentioned her before because this is the lady. Her name is Nynke. And Nynke is from Mooi van Draad. And she also designs the Spencer Penelope and the Hildegard vest I made for my daughter. And this is her first book. It's quite old and it's in Dutch. But she made a pattern for a retro belt. A vintage belt, and it's really lovely, and you can also use it for a bag, and it's really nice. And I know she has an Etsy shop right now. I don't think she already translated her patterns to English, but maybe if you ask her, if you really want, I will link down her Instagram and her Etsy shop down below in the show notes. And then I also have those little flowers, and how do you call it? This is a pattern of my own, not a pattern, a design. It's not really a pattern, it's more a description how you can make it. It's on my blog, and I really love it. Those little, there's all the fake hair is everywhere. I'm sorry, but those little flowers. You can crochet them all. I will link my blog post with the description down below, and maybe Google Translate will work because it's in Dutch. I'm sorry, but you can tie it around your head, in your hair, or you can hang the flowers. They are really nice and cozy and fun. Yeah, so I'm all dressed up in my crochet, and that's really hard jumping to me. I will try to tell you about my crafty adventures, and I hope you are not distracted by my weird outfit, because yeah, it is really weird. I'm looking weird, but it's also fun. I have a finished object. It is in my top, in my blocking top, right in front of me, and it is the Arctic light sweater for my little girl. No, she's not so little, and yeah, she is little, but my 14-year-old girl. My sweater is finished. But it's still in the water right now. Yesterday evening I didn't felt motivated to put it out and to put it on my blocking mat. So I will tell you all about it in next Monday's episode. I had to order a new ball of yarn because I didn't make it with the yarn I had, and it was quite exciting which way it would turn out. And I promised myself if I must order extra yarn, I will also order this yarn in black to make a cardigan for myself. But I didn't do it. It didn't felt right. I am so busy with thinking about my stash. Is it the way I want it to be? Do I own too much? Do I own what I really want? And when can I knit up all the beautiful yarns I've bought 1 year ago, 2 years ago? And it didn't felt right to order extra yarn. So I didn't do it. It's still on my wish list. I still want to make a black cardigan in this yarn. But there will be a time this year that I visit a yarn shop or a yarn event and I can buy it then. So it felt better to do not. But when I had to order it online because the shop is at the other side of the country. There was quite a big box, so I thought that's a bit too big for one yarn ball, but there was an extra skein in it. It was a gift from the owner shop, from Nynke, and it's very lovely. So there was some extra yarn, but it's hard jumping yarn to me. It is Schoppel Lino, and it's actually a sock yarn with some linen in it. Normally sock yarn has some polyamide as for extra strength, and you also have some natural alternatives. I say it like that. That's the right way to say it, I guess. Alternatives. And linen is one of them. And it's a beautiful skein in a beautiful brown color with some lighter speckles. I don't know, heathered. Do you say it like that? It's really lovely. So it is something I really can use in my stash, and sock yarn is always nice. I was looking if I wanted to make something different from it, but I think I want to make socks, but not immediately. They will go in my fingering weight yarn box and they will wait until it's their time. But it was very sweet of Nynke. If you visit the Netherlands and you are in Friesland, definitely check out Selden. I will link the yarn shop down below because it's a lovely yarn shop and yeah, a lovely lady. I also last week really dived into my rabbit hole of scrappy yarns, especially scrappy fingering weight yarns, when I decided not to buy those the black yarn for a cardigan. I thought, okay, let me check what I already have, what I already own, and especially the sock yarn, mainly sock yarn and some other fingering weight yarn. I have quite an amount of little bits of scraps. And I thought, okay, I need some more scrappy projects in my life, because I was thinking, do I want to give those scraps away, or do I want to use them up? And I thought I want to use them up, and I needed a few cast-ons. So I started with cast on a new scrappy sock. And I will tell you all the details when I finish this sock, but it's a DK weight. I held the scraps double. I knitted on 3mm needles, 44 stitches, stripes from 5 rounds, and it's really addictive and really fun. And it's also for in my gift box at the end of the year, but I really love it. And it feels really good to use up those scraps this way. You only need little tiny scraps, and yeah, it's really fun. So that was my cast on. I did cast on also a scrappy sweater for myself, but I will tell you more about that later. And then when I was at knitting day last week, I was sitting next to an older lady, and she was crocheting a poncho. Is that the English word? I guess a poncho. And I did crochet a lot of ponchos for my little girls, when they were little, and in the granny stitch and all the bright colors. And a poncho is a perfect throw over for a child, throw over a cardigan or over your jacket when it's really cold, and it looks very sweet and colorful and just adorable. So when I saw her crocheting the poncho, I remembered, oh, I did it. I used to do that also a lot. And I really felt poncho inspiration. So, and then I realized I have a little niece. My girls don't want to wear a poncho. I don't wear them myself too. I love the ponchos, but not for myself, for the children. So I asked my sister, would you like a poncho for your girl? And she said, yes, I would love to. My sister is very, very knit worthy. My little niece wears handmade items all the time as well. My mom and we both knit and crochet for the girl, and yeah, it's really lovely that the things you make can. No, I'm sorry. It's the Dutch. The translation process is not always as fast as it wants to come out of my mouth. It's really nice when the things you made are used so much and with so much love. So I have a lot of sock yarn, Lang yarn Jawol. That's a very thin sock yarn. I have it in a lot of pastel colors, very soft pinks and peach and green and blue and yellow. And I thought I can make a poncho when I hold it double, and it would be perfect. And my sister said, yeah, I would love to. And then I casted on a sweater with that yarn for my niece. I don't know what happened there, but I will still make the poncho. I don't really understand why I'm making a sweater right now. I think it was because of the sock. I thought, oh, a sweater in those stripes would be lovely. And then I thought of my niece, and I would love to have such a sweater for my niece. And I quite often knitted novice sweaters from Petite knit for her, but those have a round yoke. And I love a round yoke with color work, but actually not specific in a plain color or in stripes. So I thought, and I also a friend gave me a big bag with all handmade items I made a few years ago for my children, and then her children wore it, and now it went to my niece, and there was also a flex sweater in it from Nynke Knits, and that's a raglan, and it was looking adorable on her, and I thought, oh, I want to knit her a new raglan sweater, but not the flex sweater, because the shape of the neckline, I didn't know really, and I looked at Petite Knit because I really love the fit of the Petite Knit patterns, and then I found this sweater. And it is the Monday sweater. And the Monday sweater is also a top-down raglan with a folded collar, folded neckline. I really love it. And also with short rows, so that improves the fit more. And yeah, quite a wide raglan. I really love it until now. I only did I only did the beginning, the neckline and the short rows at the back, and then I didn't knit on it anymore. But it's really lovely, and I'm holding those two colors together. It is both Langyarn Chawol, and there is some silk in it, and it's really soft and nice, and together it's there's a plastic fake hair. Together it makes a very lovely fabric, and I'm knitting it on the recommended needle size, I guess. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm sorry. 3.5. I'm a very relaxed knitter, so the gauge is quite not really loose, but it's quite flowy and drapey. So it's perfect for a sweater for spring in those colors. So I have more of this yarn, one of these, and more of this and more of this one. So I will make the main color combination will be this one, and maybe I have to add another color at the bottom of the body and at the sleeves, but it's a bit of a color block, I guess, and that would be lovely. So really nice, and I can make 600 of these kind of sweaters with all the yarn scraps I have left, so it's really lovely. And the pattern is also available in a grown-up version, in an adult version, because that's what Petite Knit does. The pattern comes in all the baby, junior, woman, man, all the different options. But I really love it so far, and I think my girls would love this shape also, so maybe I will make a grown-up, an adult one later. But with all those new cast-ons, I also really needed to finish up a project. So yesterday evening I finished my socks. Oh no, not really my socks. Those are also for my gift box. It's a DK weight sock yarn. Oh, it's Lana Grossa Meilenwijd. And I don't know if all the details about the colorway and on is in my. You can find it. No, not find. You can find in my project on my project page on Ravelry. But this was really a lovely project, which I always put in my backpack when I can knit everywhere, every time. I knitted those tubes toe up, casted on 14 stitches, I guess, and then I increased till 22, so 44 in total, and then I knitted 130 rounds, and then I did the ribbing at top. I don't knit heels. I didn't knit heels. I will do an afterthought heel because those tubes will go in my knitting in my gift box, and then at the end of the year I will decide for who those socks will be, and then I can measure the heel, the place where the heel must be, and I cut a little tiny yarn, a little tiny stitch I will cut, and then I can unravel the stitches and put my needle back in it, and then I can knit an afterthought heel as if you knit a toe, if you knit from the top down. There are a lot of tutorials for afterthought heels on YouTube, so yeah, that's really an easy way. And I have some yarn left, I dropped this one when I was filming my Dutch episode. It flipped out of my hands and it fell in the tub where my Arctic light sweater is blocking. So it's all wet. You can't see it. This is what I have left from the same yarn. So I will use this for the heels, and I'm quite sure that it will be enough. And when it's not enough, I can knit heels in a contrasting color. But I'm quite sure it will be enough, so that will be okay. So I will remove the stitch markers. I didn't do that yet because I want to show you. I really love to count every 10 rounds of my sock. It's nice for your socks, so you can make the two socks identical, but it feels a bit as a motivation for me, or sometimes a limit, because when I'm knitting and I actually have to do something else, then I make the appointment with myself, okay, knit 10 rounds and then you have to quit. Or sometimes when a sock, when you are not really motivated to work on a sock, then I make the appointment with myself, knit 10 rounds each day, and then it's okay. And then it will grow, it is moving, but so it will be finished. For me, it's not really working when a project is laying down and nothing is happening. Only a little bit of movement every now and then is enough. Not all the projects have to grow fast and have to be finished fast, but I like them to be growing slowly every now and then. So really hibernating projects are not really working out for me, except my northeasterly blanket, my Scrappy blanket. That's okay, because that one have to wait until I can add a new yarn. But the rest I want to keep moving. So those are finished. And I think that was all I wanted to tell. Yeah, okay. That was all for today. This week we have holidays, and it's not in all the parts of the Netherlands. I guess only in the south we have holidays right now, and the other part of the country has it next week. But because of the carnival, the kids don't have to go to school. My husband, he has to work one day, but the rest of the week he is at home. So that is always a little bit different for me, because I have quite some knitting and alone time during the day when they are going to work and school. And now they are all here, and I really love that. I enjoy the time with my family, but I have some extra time in the early mornings because they don't have to go out of bed in time, and I wake up early always, so then it's quiet and I don't have to fill lunch boxes and all, so it also gives me a little bit of the holiday feeling, so that's really nice. And we will do some fun things together, and we start this afternoon with the carnival parade in the city. Okay, I want to thank you for watching. I promise next week I will be there in my regular knitting lady outfit with normal hair and no schmink. Not as a ladybug, but just as Sarah. But I thought it is really part of the tradition in the part of the Netherlands where I live. So, and I know some of you really enjoy to hear things about other countries, about the Dutch traditions, and this is definitely one in my city. So yeah, I think it's fun to share those things. Okay, yeah, I wish you a very nice week. I hope you have some crafting time and some heart jumping moments. Never forget to create them. If you can't find them, just create them. And I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Film even de...
meiden zijn al dicht. La 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 later.
Als het niet echt